Beyond Saltmarsh is a game played by adults and recorded for an adult audience. Sometimes we use adult language and explore adult topics. Consider yourself warned.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Beyond Saltmarsh. I'm Dave, your humble dungeon master here at the Superior Adventurers Guild. We are super excited to jump back into our game. The adventurers, our heroes, my friends are on the Isle of Cybrit, and they are exploring some interesting things. Before we get into all that craziness that's about to ensue, let's meet the gang. Let's meet my friends, my good buddies. Hey.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hey everybody, my name is Andy. I'm playing Rhunar Deg, 8th level human dual sword wielding Battlemaster fighter and current captain of the Good Buddy. And for the past week I've been considering whether or not to jump out of a second story window.
Okay.
As Rhunar, not myself.
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you for clarifying. Appreciate that.
Oh my. Hello, I'm Kirk. I'm playing Byron Hern, also known as Dr. Dave McKillinguddy. I'm a rogue and a fighter. Mostly a rogue. Almost entirely a rogue. I have a touch of fighter. Byron, he's had a lot to think about this last week. Between sessions, he's kind of thinking about these Nyack guys. He's thinking about this creature. He's thinking about his worries for Rhunar and his weapon hoarding. He's wondering if he's over encumbered yet, but mostly he's worried the ship has bad luck because they rechristened it without rechristening it, and it's they changed the name without doing the whole thing, so they might have bad luck, and it's been pondering him.
Fair enough.
That seems
reasonable.
Hey, it's me, Chad, aka North Shore DM, aka this guy. I play Tenoch Knucklebones. Very small, wizard kind of guy. Cast spells, reads the bones, punches bones, breaks bones. He has not contemplated jumping out a window because I think I ran outside. I don't remember. Or no, I went to the room. Somebody else, Theo went outside. I went to the room.
Yep.
And I would jump out that window, no hesitation, and will as soon as I have the chance to. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm playing Theo, the Hexblade who thinks he's a paladin. And I'm already outside, so on that count, I'm doing great. I just didn't see anything at the end of last session. Speaking of last session, I think my favorite bit that happened there was, Theo healing up the nice confused bandit who's like, what? Why are you not killing? Okay. And I'm certain that's going to come back to bite us in the ass in the future, and I'm looking forward to that development. Back to you, Dave.
Oh, wow. Yeah, mixed messages certainly for Alice, the bandit.
Commit a war crime, and then I'm going to heal you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to kill
so
all your
confusing.
friends, but heal you.
Restaurateur.
Great. Well, thanks, guys. We're really excited to get into this, but we do have some announcements. Chad, why don't you kick it off, sir?
Ooh, boy. Tomorrow, this time, this channel, very similar group to this, minus Kirk, but plus 2 other people. We will be playing Midwinter Keening, the game set in the campaign setting of Svealand, Norse mythology, inspired game by Dream Realm Storytellers. I'm very excited. There's kind of we're planning a wet. Man, I don't know what's happening anymore, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that anybody else does either, and that's awesome. So we're excited. We're gonna give away some more dice that I will ship to you if you are the winner. They're cool. So
I guess we even ship to Japan. Is that true?
shh, don't tell everybody that.
if we have to, if Phoenix keeps winning.
Phoenix will not keep winning.
He's here tonight though.
But yeah, join us. It'll be great.
Yeah, thank you, Chad. That is great. We're second level in that game. It's super fun. You can check out the previous episodes on our YouTube channel if you want to and get caught up for tomorrow. A couple other fun announcements. Hey, North Shore DM, Chad, thanks for subscribing for 2 months.
Hey, wait, 2 months?
Yep,
Oh.
You did. You pushed the 2-month button.
Fuck me.
Yep. We have, hey, thanks for your support. Appreciate it.
I just want the emotes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. We have emotes, folks.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right. That's what I was getting to. I don't know what that means, but we've got them. You can check them out. I think you subscribe to get them. Is that right? Kirk, is that how it works?
Yeah, I had to subscribe at tier 2 to get the hype emote.
Yep. And then we have
I do not have the
yeet
emote yet.
Chad, what are you doing, man?
That's another level. I don't have a lot of money.
All right. Well, we'll get there eventually. But guys and gals and people of all types, get in on the emote scene. I think it's going to be cool. People are using them. I don't know. Just, it's fun. Okay. So there we go. We've got emotes. So subscribe if you're interested in supporting us. Speaking of support, I am super excited to re-announce the fact that we have a sponsor for the stream. That's kind of a big deal. CZRPG. They create and publish a variety of awesome content for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, including settings, adventures, map packs, and player options, along with customized cartographic services, map making, and that kind of jazz. CZRPG is all about helping the DM save time and look like pros. If you need an adventure, supplement, encounters, or map pack, check them out at czrpg.com. We'll drop their URL in the chat throughout the night tonight. Check them out. They're our sponsors. Now, as a sponsor, they have donated a digital copy of their latest title called Barovian, Born and Raised, which is a Curse of Strahd supplement, where you can play with a different perspective, rising against the Devil Strahd as true Barovians and freeing the cursed lands of Barovia without relying on those outsider adventurers to do it for you. You do it for yourself. This product includes player primer, DM guidelines, additional hooks and links to tie in with all the official module, as well as player handouts to take your Curse of Strahd campaign to the next level. You see what I did there? Go ahead and drop the code word CURSE, CURSE, into the chat, and you'll be entered to win. Hang out tonight. We will be drawing one lucky winner at the end of tonight's stream. You do have to be present to win. So if you do have to step away, come on back around, 9:50 or whatever. We usually wrap up around 10 p.m. Central Standard. And for those of you that can't wait long enough for that, there is a URL. Chad, point down from where you are. There's a URL at the bottom, bit.ly/Barovian-guild, and you can use that link to go check out this awesome product. I have checked this thing out. It's really great. I've also used some of CZRPG stuff. They have another great publication for the Curse of Strahd game called Encounters with the Dark Powers, and it's pretty awesome. I've used that in my own home game. So there we go.
I think that was a show on the CW for a while.
Was it really? Oh boy.
No.
I don't know. Do we have any other announcements?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Did you cover the bitty bits?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. So we're taking a cue from our friends over at Blue Box RPG, and I always thought this was super cool that they do this. But you know how there's bits? Kirk told me something about bits. I've seen it done on other channels. If you donate 100 bits, and I'm talking to you, Kyle, if you're here, buddy, because you asked for this. If you donate 100 bits, you can give one advantage roll to any of the players or me, the DM, for 100 bits. Your choice. You get to do that. That's how it's done. And we use those advantages to do cool stuff and whatnot. Oh, Rhunar already has advantage. So there we go.
He's gonna need it.
That's how it works. Guys, thank you so much for coming out to watch us and to hang out with us and to just comment in the chat. I don't know. It's great. It's fun. We like playing. We like having people around when we play. It's good. All right. With that all said, I think it's time that we do a little recap from last week. What do you say, guys? Should we do that?
A little bit of
yeah.
recap in my life.
So, in our last episode, the Deg Gang cleaned up a mess that they'd made in a warehouse district after a quickly won battle with what appeared to be a gang of bandits caught in the middle of a very poorly timed heist. The gang searched the bodies of the bandits and examined the warehouse stores looking for Dr. Octavio Gra's cargo, but to no avail. However, among the spoils, Rhunar found a ledger as well with a well-documented list of business dealings and cargo holdings, but couldn't quite decipher the notation before the warehouse operator arrived and demanded an explanation to the bloody scene in his establishment. Tenoch went on to explain the events, and the man, this operator, Federico, they surveyed the bodies of the fallen bandits. He recognized one of them as Sam the Butcher, a rather well-known leader of a gang called the Butcher Boys. The woman who got away, he explains, was none other than Alice the Meat. Federico's demeanor changed at the realization that the Deg Gang had stopped a robbery in progress, and his concern then turned from what was happening there to this lost ledger that Rhunar quickly concealed from view. Theo went on to explain that they worked for Alesco Mariconia. Federico was now very interested, knowing Mr. Mariconia and the name, and he was interested in helping the party. So he let them know if they could help him find the ledger, that he'd be happy to provide them with whatever information they needed on the cargo. Tenoch inquired about a bounty that might exist on the Butcher Boys, and Federico directed them to the sheriff's office down in the Broken Wharf district. Before they went there, Tenoch used his arcane eye to locate Alice, who was wounded from the battle, and she was hiding in an alleyway nearby. And the party set out to find her, and they did, as Michael mentioned. Theo stabilized her. They questioned her about the heist. She resisted their questions. The baboon got in her face and freaked her out. And then she was given a healing potion. It was a very interesting sort of good cop, baboon cop sort of thing going on. Eventually, she tipped them off about a Soul man who she had met at the Crowbar, who had tipped them off to this valuable cargo. So with that information in hand, the party went back, handed over the ledger to Federico. He paged through and found some interesting information that led them to the conclusion that Mariconia's cargo, the cargo that they'd been looking for, had actually shipped out a day prior on a ship called the Lord's Trident, which was helmed by Captain Anton. Now, at this point, the Deg Gang took a rest, sipping fruity drinks with little mini umbrellas for some reason in them, and then they went to collect the bounty on Sam the Butcher with the sheriff. The storm was building on the horizon, these monsoon storms rolling in the afternoons. Tenoch and Theo went to the Crowbar afterwards, started to work the crowd a bit, but while Byron and Rhunar went to Earl's Carpentry to purchase supplies for the ship. They did find out, Tenoch and Theo that is, that the Soul Man had been in the Crowbar earlier in the day and had been frequenting the place over the last couple of days. They also picked up a few stories about ghost ships and other supernatural creatures, a strange island, which was told to have untold riches that would emerge from the ocean and then sink below its surface. They learned about a group of farm workers who had gone missing along the Biori River near the bridge, etc., etc. Byron arranged for the purchase of a bunch of supplies from Earl's Carpentry. He also asked Earl if she could create a prototype of this unique ballista bolt that he had gotten plans from while in Saltmarsh. Rhunar spoke with the repairman who worked at the dry dock to repair the damages from the room where Dr. Gra had been staying. The repairman mentioned deep gouges and strange hair that he found in the windowsill before fixing it. At that point, a monsoon storm arrived in Cyber with a deluge of rain. accompanied by loud crashing thunder and lightning erupting from the sky. Eventually, the party decided to spend the night at the dry dock. Upon entering, they heard a shattering glass and a scream, a blood-curdling scream from Taniyka's room upstairs. Rhunar and Tenoch rushing up the stairs, bashing into her room and seeing a shattered window, broken windowsill, very much like what they'd heard about happened to Dr. Gra. Taniyka was gone. Looking out the window, Rhunar caught the faint rain-obscured image of a large creature running towards the tree line and disappearing. Behind it, 2 humanoids giving chase. And this, my friends, is where we will begin tonight's session.
Well, shit.
Right. I'd like to fireball the dry dock.
The whole building?
Is that a deck save?
Sure.
I think it's a dock save.
I don't know. I don't have it now.
What? What do you mean you don't have fireball? What kind of necromancer are you?
No, do you have fireball?
Well, no.
What kind of wizard are you?
I lived in the jungle where things like on fire really easily.
Anyway,
It's conscientious, man.
so one of us sees the running figures, but only one of us, and that one is the inimitable Rhunar fucking Deg.
Yeah,
What
so-
you gonna do about that, Captain?
Dave, do I see the thing carrying her off? Or I just
You
see the
had.
creature and the 2 individuals.
Let me just take a quick peek here. You rolled pretty well. You rolled an 18 on that last perception roll. You did not see her, but you did see 2 individuals chasing after this large creature. And all you really got from it, again, there's a lot of rain coming down. The visibility is not great, but you saw that it was a creature that was lumbering. Well, actually, it wasn't lumbering. It was racing on 4 legs towards the tree line. And again, there were 2 individuals chasing it.
Okay, I'm just gonna yell at the top of my lungs. They're running off behind the building. After them.
We'll run that direction.
And I'm gonna. Okay. Do my boots give me any advantage on jumping out of this window?
Yes, they do.
All right.
Go ahead. Go
So
ahead
I'm
and roll an athletics check with advantage,
All right.
and let me know what you got.
Athletics. $16.
Okay, yeah, you jump out, you do the 3-point landing, you splash into the mud below the window, and just a huge splash erupts around you. It looks really cool. Rain falling down on you, dripping off of you. Yeah, exactly. Tenoch, you look out the window, you're like, holy, that was awesome.
Weird.
And I'm just gonna start chucking after him, just hauling ass.
Okay. Tenoch and Byron, what are the 2 of you doing?
I'm going to be following Theo because I ran outside the door with Theo. When he ran out of the building, I followed him.
Okay. And Tenoch?
So if I see Theo run, I'm running after him.
Okay, so the 3 of you take off running.
Yeah, I am going to pull out a tuft of cat hair and cast enhance ability Cat's Grace on myself.
Ooh.
Here, I'll do one of these. Hookah gaga! It allows me to not take
doing
falling damage from falling 20 feet, and I will leap, follow Rhunar by leaping out the window.
Okay. All right, so you jump out the window. You don't have to roll or anything. It's just good to go, huh?
I have advantage on dex checks. I don't take damage from falling 20 feet, so yeah.
Roll a dex check with advantage just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
Let's see
All
how
right.
cool. Let's see how cool you look. It's really about appearances at this point.
It's true.
I smell double ones coming. Nope. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You splash down as well. A smaller splash than Rhunar,
Yeah.
but a nice, it's a cool looking splash nonetheless. Water
Yeah, where it
dripping
can
off of you.
considerably less than Rhunar. I weigh
And maybe
56
half the
pounds.
size.
56 pounds.
I weigh 56 pounds.
That's awesome. It is extremely stormy right now. Thunder, lightning, you name it, just a deluge of rain, sheets of water coming down. So it's very difficult to see. In these conditions, any sort of perception rolls that rely on sight or hearing are going to be at disadvantage. Just FYI for if you do any perception rolls. And some of your visibility, even those of you who have dark vision, is going to be slightly impaired from the conditions as well. It's not easy to see what's going on, but you give chase. Rhunar, who saw the creature, points it out and you start running. What I'd like to do here is, we've done this before. The last time we did a skill challenge was when I think you were racing from
The ambush site to the boat.
Yep, when you're trying to get back to the boat to head off the bandits who are trying to steal some stuff from your ship back in Saltmarsh, from Anders Solmore's estate. That's what it was.
Yep.
God, that was a great episode. All right, we'll have to go back and watch that again sometime. But okay, so here's I get sidetracked. So here's what's going to happen is we want to get 4 successes before we hit 3 failures. And what this is going to entail is that each of you will pick a skill that you are proficient in. And I want you to describe to myself and folks that are watching how you're going to use that skill to do what you're trying to do. Chase down, close the distance on, find this creature, or whatever else it is that you want to do that's going to contribute to this objective. Does that make sense? Okay, sweet.
Yeah,
All right, so who wants to start?
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead, Byron.
All right. So Byron, already on the ground floor, right behind Theo, is going to tap into his acrobatics. Start rolling over things that get in his way, dodging people, and keeping his hand up in front of his eyes, just trying to stay close behind.
Okay, so yeah, there's not many people, but there's people that are rushing away from the scene, a couple of them, and you kind of dodge past them. There's a fence that you jump over and kind of try to hurl yourself over. Let's go ahead and get an acrobatics roll. As you try to vault over this this fence, you trip and fall and you splash face down in the mud. And you kind of shake it off and get back up and continue running, but it's a failure. One failure. Let's hope we're getting that out of the way early, huh?
I mean, this is what happened to us last time.
Theo, I'll go with Theo because he was on the ground too. Just distantly in the background, you hear the thunder begin and the patina of the rain begin to go. Crash, bam, bam, crash, bam, bam, crash. Bam, 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 and he's just gonna go straight at
you using performance.
Now that I said that out loud, I wish I had performance training because I'd try it, but no, it's nature giving us Eye of the Tiger as he goes for athletics.
Nice.
Okay, let's do it.
That's a 10.
Yep. You're kind of similar. It's very slippery. There's thick mud on the ground, and you're slipping and sliding a little bit as you're trying to race towards, and you're not even 100% sure of where you're going necessarily. You just know a direction, and so you're sliding and slipping a little bit, and it slows you down, and that is a second failure.
Doing great down here, guys.
What's the fail rate?
We have two failures. That's
one
correct.
more failure, and we're done.
We need 4 successes.
All right, let's go with Rhunar next.
Sure. All right, once I'm running, I'm like just jumping over like leftover carpentry supplies in the backyard, leaping over that fence that Byron just ate it off of, and deftly jumping over his body as I round over the top of the fence. I don't know. So acrobatics.
All right.
Oh, I still had advantage on.
Oh, is that a 10?
10. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Yep. You also slip and fall, not quite as bad as Byron. You don't fall face first, but you kind of catch your toe as you jump over this, and you kind of
Use this
stumble,
inspiration.
and you do one of those.
Time to fireball the
Can he
fence.
use
Do
his
one of those
inspiration?
cartwheel.
Can I use my advantage that I got?
Well, you just rolled advantage, so I would
Yeah.
say, yeah, I would save it if I were you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So you have 3 failures, but Tenoch, why don't you, just for the heck of it, tell us what you're doing?
Oh
Give us
man.
give us a description.
No, that ended quickly.
Yeah. Wow. That was. I'm gonna use insight. I was gonna use athletics. Technically, that's a better roll, but I think after seeing my captain and Byron kind of attempt to use athletics and acrobatics and obviously not do so well, I'm gonna use insight to kind of follow where they kind of ran, but also to put myself maybe in a better position footing wise to be able to not slip in the mud. And I have zero qualms about running over the top of them. I think Tenoch
56
really
pounds is a
feels
lot of pounds in motion, bro.
Tenoch really feels that had Rhunar not leapt over Byron, he would have probably been fine. So I'll just like run over the top of him if I have to.
Okay. And
So
you're
it's
using
an
insight?
roll.
Okay.
Insight roll. Yep.
Yep. Oh my god. All right, 4 failures. I didn't plan for 4 failures, but I'm going to mark it
rolled
down
A
anyways.
1, a 5, a 2,
Oh,
and
man.
another 2.
I feel like
Oh.
I miscalculate and I step on Rhunar, but like his body shifts and I fall off of him that way.
Yes, you kind of like step on him and slip off of his wet armor and kind of slide across him, and it's almost like a pile up situation in the mud. It's almost like a Three Stooges episode at this point. But nevertheless, you guys gather yourselves together and you continue racing forward in the direction where Rhunar saw the individual, and you finally all get to the spot where you saw Rhunar. You get to the spot where you saw the creature disappear into the tree line. You're near, if you look on the map here, you're near the number 11, which on the map is the western side of Biori Bridge. And
Okay.
you get to that point and you kind of stop to take stock, and the 4 of you are standing there. It's dark. It's hard to see. What are you going to do?
I'm going to get it on. I'm going to don my helmet, take it out of my pack.
Okay, you got the fish helmet on.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm going to start. I don't see them.
See who?
The people we were chasing. Sorry.
You're looking for them. Roll a perception check at disadvantage because of the rainfall.
Right.
Visibility is severely impaired.
7.
You look to the right and to the bridge, and you see what you can see on the bridge are 2 people that are walking across with a torch, and they don't seem to be startled or panicky or anything. That's all you can tell. You don't see anything else.
Theo is going to look for tracks.
Okay, so let's do a survival check.
Good news, I'm trained in that. Bad news, it's not enough. Holy hell.
Oh no. Yeah, it's pools of water everywhere. You can see that the banks of the river are swelling with water as this crazy downpour has hit the town. Every pockmark and every depression in the ground is filled with a puddle of water at this point, and it's really hard to tell. You can see in the puddles the splashes of raindrops hitting the water surface, and it's hard to see anything.
should we just run after? Like, should we just start running along the bank of the river?
The other two guys, you got anything? Tenoch, not Byron.
Yeah. My hip hurts. My face hurts a little.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to look through my character sheet to see if I have anything that would work.
I don't think we're catching this thing, guys.
That
We
just
still have to go after them.
as a heads up, that I see that someone's using the measurement tool. That measurement is not correct. It's not 14 miles. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
I was just going to use it to indicate.
We're in a giant town.
So I was just going to suggest we like search along this bank.
Yeah.
At
So
this
I don't
point,
think
you
we
Run
see.
across the bridge.
At this point, as you guys are having this discussion, you see another group of people who have emerged from the dry dock with torches, and they're standing there. Look, they're ready to go too. They're like, "Did you see where they went?"
Into the wetlands.
We think they went past the bridge here, up this way.
That could be the creature that took the other farmhands the other night. We
did
must
see
find
a
it.
creature.
And they start racing off in that direction. There's about 5 of them with torches, and you can see the torches are definitely helpful in terms of brightening up the situation for their search.
Theo's going to light a torch as well, and also descend into the wet.
Yeah.
All right, so you follow suit, and the first group gets farther ahead, and eventually they're sort of out of eye. You can't see them; they're out of range because of the rain. But you guys start patrolling the edges of the marsh and the edge of the river, the Biori River. Specifically about what are you looking for? What are you doing? Let's do a couple of rolls here. See what we can find.
Just tromping through brush, trying to find like a trail. This thing is big. It must have left some kind of mark.
Yeah, broken grass or branches or whatever.
I will.
See, if they're hiding back here somewhere, seeing if we can flush them out.
I will levy my jungle skills.
Mm-hmm.
To try to
No
find
pun
these
intended.
folks. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't. Yeah. Yeah, I would make a survival roll to look in that manner,
Okay, let's do it.
with which I am proficient.
And Rhunar, did you have a roll you wanted to make?
Oh, come on!
Wow.
None of us have rolled higher than a 5 yet.
Wow. So you do have advantage still, Rhunar, in case you decide you want to use it on a roll. So were you going to make a perception roll or some other
Can I
roll?
use my inspiration?
Yeah, absolutely. You re-roll.
All right, I'm
Use
gonna
it.
do
That's
it.
what it's for, my friend.
Ugh.
Oof.
Now we've rolled a 6.
Oh my. Oh
Wow.
my.
Like,
I'd
I'd like to hand it.
not
I'd
with
like to hand in my D&D card now.
I'm
Yeah,
too
not playing
sober for
D&D
this, and
anymore.
this is full of rum.
No, that means
No.
all the big 20s are yet to come.
Oh,
All
that's
right,
right. That's right.
So, yeah, you know what? I'll use my advantage to try to find sign of a trail.
Okay, so let's do a survival check with advantage.
Okay. Come on, baby. $19.
Hey, there you go. All right, so Rhunar, you're looking around and you take a peek over at the tree line and you can see broken branches, and you walk up and you take a look at closer at it and you can see it's a fresh break. And then you look down and you can see another broken branch ahead, and then you see what appears to be possibly footprints. They're filled in with water, but it almost looks like they are at specific intervals, like there's a pattern, like a gate of some sort of a creature walking, and it's a big gate.
This way, I got something.
Wait. Let me put my cloak on. It's freezing out here. And Byron's going to put it on his cloak of Elvenkind. And take out his shield as well.
All right, you guys continue moving forward. Theo with your torch that's flickering and fighting the rain that's falling, but maintains its flame just barely. And we
I
are
feel like
going.
Theo's busy using prestidigitation just to keep it lit. Like, that's
Very
why I'm
nice.
not rolling anything. It's just, he's constantly doing this and, like, making a hand gesture at it occasionally just to keep it going.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. It is not easy in this rain, by any means. You continue on the path following these marks that you've identified, Rhunar, and you find yourself along the banks of the Biore River at a spot where there's a trail. There's like a footpath that runs between the banks of the river and what appears to be an agricultural field on the left as you're heading north along the bank of the river. Large palm trees and mangrove trees that are blowing in the wind as the wind comes howling through this area and just dripping with rain. They're just laden with almost like little rivers of rain falling off these big, broad green leaves and falling onto the ground. In certain low-lying areas, their puddles are growing in size and depth. And as you continue on, there is a bit of a fork in the path. And one fork goes closer to the river's edge, and the other fork kind of goes closer to the agricultural field, and then they meet back up farther along the track. And you come to that fork, and you're like, what do I do?
But I know they meet up.
You can see just up ahead that they kind of go, and it looks as though they sort of meet back up with the terrain. You can see just barely in this downpour that the river kind of bends towards the agricultural field up ahead. So
Okay,
on
like
the
in this
map,
area?
you'd be like, yeah, exactly. You're kind of like right in here, where that purple mark is.
Okay. So I guess, do I?
Theo would just take a second, leave the torch to be what it is, close his eyes, take a deep breath, and listen to the jungle. Specifically, listen to the noises that don't belong. Like, because there was 2 humans running, and humans in the woods usually sound very different. He's going to tap into some of his elven training from when he was younger and would like to roll nature to see what he gets.
Okay.
Hey.
That's a
there we
22.
go.
I love it. So the music fades. You listen. You can hear the beat of your heart. You can hear the rain falling,
It goes slow-mo.
the crack of thunder. Yep, totally.
Close up
And
of raindrops.
You look ahead
yep.
and you hear someone calling out. Help me!
Theo's eyes snap open. He goes that way and just runs towards the voice.
And
Before
as you
he even
do,
realizes what way he's going.
the music is cued back on, and you start racing towards the voice. You take the fork to the right that hugs closer to the bank of the river, and up ahead of you, you see a flash of color, a reddish, torn fabric hanging on a tree branch. You run up to it.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay. As you run up to it, everybody else follows with you. What do you do when you get there?
Snag it and then look around to see if I see anyone.
Okay, roll a perception check. Anybody who's perceiving something or actively perceiving can roll a perception check. Otherwise, I'll go with your passives.
I would check the ground for tracks, perhaps.
Mine is the same as my passive. Ha! 13.
Okay, 13. All right. Tenoch, go ahead and roll a survival check. You're looking for tracks.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's muddy.
Yep, it is muddy. There's water everywhere. The banks of the river threatening to overtake the pathway. Byron and Rhunar, however, you, my friends, notice something. You notice that as you look around, Theo grabbing this fabric, this torn garment from this tree branch. You look around, you look down, you look ahead. It's dark, it's hard to see. You look up, and as you do, a snake falls out of the tree and lands right in your midst. I need everybody, as I move over to this map, to roll initiative. Let me get you over here.
I was really waiting for you to say, "Oh, Theo, you hear it?" Theo's like, "I run," and Dave was like, "Yeah, you take off running," and Crocodile
Too bad.
just
Now,
gun. Sneak
I'm gonna
attack.
drop you guys on the map here because your tokens aren't there yet.
I can tell.
It is dark as hell. So those of you, I think only Theo has dark vision, right?
I have it with my helmet
Okay.
that I specifically donned earlier for that.
Okay. Good. Rhunar, what is
Nice.
the dark vision on that?
I believe it's. I'll look it up. 60
There we
feet.
go.
Okay.
Byron, fucking A, all right.
So as I
Nat
mentioned,
20.
because of the weather, your dark vision is impaired slightly. So it's not
Yep.
quite at like you would normally see it. I think I've modified it for both you guys. Let me double check Theo. Nope. Theo, yours is normally 60, I'm assuming, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you guys have a torch as well, I think you mentioned. So let me get a torch out there for you. Torch. Let me just double check that. And that one is impaired a little bit as well, like I mentioned. Okay. So above you, as I said, a snake drops out of the tree, and let me just get it to the right layer here. There's a second one behind you that also
Wait,
falls
what?
out of the tree. And let me roll initiative for these guys.
We're fighting snakes.
Snakes.
Snake,
Why are-
it's a
why are they so
snake.
Get these motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking swamp.
All
I'm
right.
tired of these
These,
motherfuckers.
these, yeah. Oh god, that's great. Okay, so let's see. Byron and Rhunar, you will get to act this first round, but Tenoch and Theo, you guys are surprised as these things drop out of the tree.
We are?
Yep. Byron, it looks as
Why?
though you,
Why?
sir, because of your, because you were looking down at the ground, looking
Okay.
for tracks, and because Theo rolled a pretty poor perception roll.
Yeah, and I rolled a really bad tracking roll.
Yeah.
Again,
exactly.
not
That's
a
okay.
ranger.
That's okay.
So as these things are falling,
Mhm.
Byron really isn't afraid of snakes at all. He actually kind of likes snakes.
What if they're undead?
Yeah, he'd be throwing up and crying and fleeing.
Undead snakes.
But they look alive. So he's already got his shield out. He's been using it to keep the rain off of him. He redonned his cloak because he was kind of getting a little cold. He's ready for this. He pulls his dagger out, takes 2 steps forward as it's still falling, or 3 steps forward it looks like, and is going to try to cut it in half as it's still falling to the ground.
Okay,
Seems legit.
that does. Give it a swing.
And you get fucking sneak attack on it too.
Yep.
Oh, it's so rad. Oh yeah.
Was it 25 hit?
25 hit
25 is going to hit.
for
And
15 damage.
yeah, that is enough to slice this thing in half as it wriggles to the ground and dies.
I feel like Byron maybe even just holds out his sword and lets it fall on the sword and it just splits it in two as it falls past him. Doesn't even swing.
Byron, from your position where you are right there, and because you rolled such a great perception check, what was it again? It was a 23. You also see in front of you as you slice this the snake, you see laying in the mud a body, and it looks as though it's Taniyka, and she looks very, very injured.
Oh shit. As a bonus action, I'll move another 10 feet over to help her. I didn't use all my movement anyways. I'll just
No.
and help her.
Move.
I'll just step over there.
Yeah, I'll step over and I think that's all I can do this turn.
Okay. We will then go to ba-da-da-da-dee-da-da-doo. There we go. Tenoch, you're gonna hold on you for this round. Rhunar, you have
The con.
the con, sir.
All right, I'm going to move down slightly and attack that other snake with my scimitar.
Okay. Let's see
Let me
it.
just look at one. Okay, yeah. $23.
That'll hit. How much damage is it total?
7 slashing.
Okay. You cut into it, but it hisses at you.
Okay, I'm going to use my extra attack to hit him again. Wait, let me just check one thing. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm not going to use anything yet. Just a regular weapon attack.
Okay.
Ooh.
That does not hit.
Okay.
It kind of wriggles away, injured. It kind of retracts itself as you swing again and you miss.
Okay. That's it. I'm not going to use anything on this snake.
Okay. The snake is going to lash out and attempt to bite you in response to your attack.
Okay.
That tracks. That makes sense.
15. I'm guessing that misses.
Misses.
Okay. And as you guys are doing battle, having killed one of the snakes, you hear this. Where is it? And behind you, Tenoch, this does not surprise you. You see a giant crocodile come out of the water towards you. And it's going to act on the poisonous snake turn.
Unoffixus crocodiles.
Yep. It's going to move
I
forward.
I knew I should have cast mage armor on myself.
Anything.
It is going to... First of all, it's going to swing at you with its tail.
Oh, God.
23 to hit you for 8 bludgeoning damage, and I need you to make a strength save, DC 15, or be knocked prone.
Oh no, he went for the one he could fit in his mouth.
Hang on a sec.
That's right. It's just an hors d'oeuvre.
Minus 10. Hang on. Minus 3. 8. Does this... Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that there. Okay. I'm sorry. Strength check?
Yes, sir.
Strength saving throw.
Strength save versus a DC 15, please. Oof.
No.
You are knocked prone, and as you are, it is going to bite at you, which I think it gets an advantage on that attack, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Only a 13.
That'll miss.
Okay. It bites at you and misses. But it growls because it's pissed. That brings us to Theo. You were surprised this round. So now we're going to go back to...
surprise face.
Yep. Shit. All right, Byron. You hear activity behind you. There's Taniyka's laying in front of you. What are you going to do?
Oh, man. I'm going to give Taniyka a large health potion in hopes that she can survive whatever injuries she may have.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for that, please. Is that a greater healing potion?
Yes.
That's just great.
That is great. So 44 plus 4.
Fifteen
Yes.
hit points.
Nice. She is back to full health, as it were. And she kind of shakes her head and she says, "The beast! It's here! We have to leave!"
Just stay behind me. And then I'll move forward 5, 10, 15 feet to the crocodile,
Okay.
and I will growl at it.
Ooh, let's hear your growl. Nice. I like it. All right. Anything else that you want to do, sir?
No.
All right. Sweet. Let's see. That brings us to Tenoch. You are on the ground, prone. That's right.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. This is less advantageous. This is definitely suboptimal. So I will kind of from my prone position, I make a cool hand motion and say some cool shit in my language, and I will cast Shadow Blade as a
Ooh.
3rd level spell.
You're not gonna stand up though.
I'm casting a spell first, so I can
Okay,
stand up
all right.
on my action, man.
He'll get to it.
Oh,
He'll
okay.
get to it.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. And so it talks about it being a sword, but I probably like. Does it have to be a sword?
No,
Like,
absolutely
the form
not. It can
factor
be
doesn't mean
whatever
anything,
you
yeah.
want it to be, within reason.
Right. I think that it's. Man, I feel like it's probably like a big, like almost like a tiger's claw, like paw, like just a big claw with claws and shit, like almost
Yes.
like
Yes.
almost like oversized, like almost comical in its oversizedness, especially on my body.
Yes, please.
And
I love
you
that.
know, my like as I when I do it, maybe my eyes flash a little bit like Lion-O's eyes, and Thundercats and shit. And I stand up and I say, "Not today, beast," and I just smash it because casting it is, of course, a bonus action.
And
I will
you
use
get
my-
advantage with the attack because you are in dim light / darkness.
Oh, I'm aware. That is so good.
Yeah, that's nice.
So
Pretty much
I'm
perfect for
going.
this shit.
Whoops. Let's see. I'm gonna roll it. I guess I'm gonna roll it just as my unarmed strike because it's a proficient attack, and that'll just be easier for me.
Okay.
Wow.
The dice, they
You jab forward with
Wow.
this
Hang on,
psychic dagger. Yeah.
Hang on, check this out. Check this out.
Ooh.
Stupid halflings.
Okay, let's do it. Roll one more d20. That's better. You strike forward with this weapon, and at first you can see that you're going straight for one of the plates, the big armored plates on this thing, and you just as a stroke of luck, you see a little flash, a little glimmer, and you just angle it a little bit different, and you slide it up inside the armor plating and give it a big old what's the total damage on that?
I have to roll for it
Yeah,
because
so it's going to be 2d8.
It'll be 3d8 since I cast it at 3rd level.
Sweet.
I'm gonna create it I'll have to create it as a weapon. It doesn't say that I add any stat mods to the damage,
No, you don't. That's pretty good.
but
Nice.
it will take 15 psychic damage.
It kind of recoils and hisses as you stab it.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Anything else from our halfling?
Man. I feel like no.
Okay, that brings us to Rhunar. There's still a snake
Okay.
in front of you, and now you can see that there's this giant gator right in front of Tenoch. Well, in front
I'm
of
gonna-
everybody, really.
Pull my second sword and keep attacking the snake.
Okay.
$15.
15 will hit. A little lag there, but yeah, 15 will hit, and you cut it down, and it just stops wriggling, and it dies in the mud.
Okay, with my movement, I'm going to jump. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out my route here.
Okay. For those of you that don't know the backstory, Rhunar has boots of... They're not called boots of jumping, are they? Say it one more
they call-
time.
Boots of leaping and striding.
There we go. Boots of leaping and striding.
Is that what they're called now? They
Yep.
used to be boots of springing and striding. Leaping makes
Yeah,
more
leaping.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boing, boing, boing.
I could be wrong.
Nah, you're never wrong.
It doesn't matter.
So I'm going to jump to here
Okay.
and use
You
my...
do splash down in the water there.
Oh, that's water.
Yep. Go ahead
Okay,
and
that's fine.
roll a quick athletics check for me. It is muddy and slippery. You slide a little bit, but you catch yourself from falling backwards into the water.
Okay, in this position, do I have advantage on this croc
Yes, you do.
with Byron? Or
Yep.
with...
With with Tenoch really.
Okay.
But yeah, you do have advantage.
So I'm going to use
'Cause he
my
is flanked.
other attacks.
You still have your offhand attack and your bonus attack.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm just taking a look at a couple things real quick.
Looking at things, looking at things, looking at
Okay, that's fine.
things.
I'll just make my attacks here. Oh,
That's a miss. Your
And-
sword bashes off the armored plating of this croc.
all right. Extra attack. Oh, I didn't have advantage on.
No, you did not. You're right.
You want to take that second roll, or should I roll again?
That's cool. Yeah, we'll go with the second one. So you do hit.
Okay. For the first damage for 8.
Yep, we'll do that. And then go ahead and roll your second attack with advantage this time.
Okay. $24.
That'll hit. Just slashing and hacking at this thing. In the back of your mind, Rhunar, you kind of get the sense that, man, I could really, I think some gator skin boots would be cool. All right, anything else?
No, that's it for now.
All right, that brings us to the croc, and it is going to it's going to swing its tail at you, Rhunar,
Okay.
and try to knock you down. $19
19 hits.
for 12 bludgeoning, and I need you to make a DC 15 strength save, or be knocked prone into the water.
Minus 12, you said? 12 bludgeoning?
12 bludgeoning. Yep.
Okay.
In response to that,
Mm-hmm.
using Sentinel, I'd like to stab it.
Okay. You're gonna use your reaction. Go for it.
Yep, I'm going to react and stab it with my dagger.
Did you say strength or dex save?
Strength save.
Okay.
And I don't have advantage, is that correct?
You do not.
Okay.
18.
You maintain your footing as the tail bashes into you and tries to knock you down. You just kind of dig into the mud with your boots. Go ahead, Byron, with your reaction.
I'm gonna stab it for
Nice.
24 damage.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge. It hisses at you.
I would sentinel it, but I still don't have a weapon out.
And it is going to it's going to bite at Rhunar with its second attack here.
Does it have? Oh, I saved.
16.
Misses.
It bites at you and misses, luckily.
With one of my abilities here, I'm going to use Riposte
Okay.
and use an superiority die to make a weapon attack against him.
Okay. That's sweet.
Just take that down. Okay. $24. So that's for a total of 12 damage. I add the dice to the damage.
Got it. All right. So you jump out of the way as it bites at you, and then you come down on it with your sword and slash it across the back of the head, and blood just spills all over the ground, but is quickly diluted by the water. Wow, nicely done. It's looking pretty rough. That brings us to Theo.
Theo finally gets to pull his packed weapon because he's just been combat paralyzed apparently, and is also going to try and hit this motherfucker with it. Just two big swinging arcs. Actually, he's going to move 10 feet. Nope, that's a torch, not a Theo. That's a Theo. Over here to get advantage.
Okay.
And take 2 attacks. So I'm glad he did. That's 15.
That will hit.
First one, just big arcing strike. I assume it's still kicking.
It's still kicking.
Just the momentum of the swing kind of carries the blade backwards, and he just quickly reverses it, brings it, up in an underhanded strike.
Nice.
For 14 points of slashing.
How would you like to do it?
At that point, I am just imagine it just cleaves up under the thing's jaw, carries just straight through its snout, kind of bisects it at an odd angle, and just he kind of comes out of it in like a baseball stance, kind of holding the sword in one hand and looking at the alligator that's not moving anymore, like, oh, it's dead. Huh.
As you do that, Taniyka runs up with her action at the end of the turn order, and she says, "We need to get out of here now, before it returns."
Taniyka, if you had stayed on our ship like I suggested, this never would have happened. Let's get out of here.
Oh, wow.
Also, let's go. What beast? What could you tell us about this while we walk?
Let's talk about this later. Let's get out of here.
Let's go now. And she starts walking briskly, and you can see that as she walks past you, Theo, you can see that she is holding her abdomen while she's moving briskly and quickly and adroitly. She is definitely wounded, and you can see the pain in her face with each step, but she's getting the H out of town, and she's heading back. You guys follow?
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll follow her.
All right, so
I'm gonna keep.
I'll actually
ahead.
lead her.
I'm gonna keep
I'll,
my
move ahead of her. Sorry.
I keep my weapon out.
okay.
I guess it lasts for a minute, so until it runs out.
Okay, so we are out of initiative order as you guys begin to make your way back to town, and you eventually get back to the dry dock, and you see other people from the search party who run into you on the walk back, and they ask you, Did you find it? Did you see it?
No.
We didn't see it, but it dropped her.
Wait, did it drop you? Look at Taniyka.
How did you get away?
It was them. It was Xandar and Zanara. I don't know how to explain it. I'll tell you about it when we get back indoors. We need to get back. I don't feel safe.
You're right. We should. Let's go. We can continue.
So you relay some information to this other search party, and everybody sort of reconvenes back at the dry dock. And the outside, the storm rages on, but inside you have a sense of safety, of having gotten this woman back to safety. And she Arid, the innkeeper, comes and puts a blanket around her, a dry blanket, and he gets her some hot tea. He gets used hot tea. He starts to sort of take care of service for the people who were out searching for her, and he's offering rounds of shots of rum to those who want it, and hot tea for those who need it.
Rum and the tea? Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Of course.
I'll do
of course.
three.
Of course.
3 rums.
And she huddles near the blazing fire. And she's just shivering with cold.
Taniyka, can you tell us what happened?
I will also use prestidigitation to start drying her off.
Okay, very nice. She says, "Yes, I was in my room, and I heard something at the window, almost a scratching on the side of the building, and I went to look, and next thing I knew, I was being pulled out of the building, and I think I might have lost consciousness at some point. But then I woke," and she kind of pulls up her shirt so you can see her abdomen, her bare abdomen, and there are claw marks, huge claw marks. The distance between the claws are like almost 8 to 10 inches, and it's across her whole abdomen. Now, the healing potion helped to sort of seal the wounds, but they're kind of weeping a little bit of some sort of like a fluid. There's a little bit of blood, and there's definitely there's going to be a lot of scarring. She definitely took a bad hit from whatever it was. And she starts to weep and cry a little bit. She's kind of getting hysterical.
It's okay. It's okay. Let me take care of your wounds. This I can at least do. And he's going to start pulling out the stuff from the healer's kit and then cast Cure Wounds on her as he's doing that to kind of help undo as much of the damage as possible.
Okay. So yeah, the magical energy that you're able to harness from your patron to bring this positive healing force to her definitely helps. And she's not holding her shirt up for you to actually see it, but if she had been, you would see that a lot of that sort of almost infected look that the wound had starts to fade. Although there's definitely marks there. It's going to take a lot more to get rid of that. But she starts to calm down a little bit.
Infection is bad. We take care of the infection.
Very good point. Very good point. She's still shivering. She's still obviously shooken up by this whole incident, and she's mumbling a little bit and not really making a whole lot of sense at this point. It's almost like she kind of forgot you guys are there, and she's just mumbling. There haven't been any questions, so she's sort of off track with her thought process.
Theo is listening very closely to the mumbling as she does to see if there's anything coherent in there, especially hearing the "I blacked out" part.
Okay. Yeah. Roll an insight check for me, Theo. Tenoch, did you have something?
I do. I think while this is going on, like as people are getting kind of settled and she starts to tell her story, I'm going to just find a little bit of distance and just a slightly separate place to sit. And I would like to spend 10 minutes casting clairvoyance.
Okay. Very good. While you're doing that, Theo, you pick up a few things. You pick up a couple of words, including the word, hold on, wait for it. You pick up the word Chrysos. You pick up two names that she mentioned before, Zara, or Xandar and Zorana. And then you hear the word aberration. And then you just get an overwhelming sense with your insight check that she's terrified. Rhunar and Byron, at this point, what are you two doing?
Byron, hearing that the bartender's just pouring shots, is just going to be at the bar. Just every chance he gets, he's going to snag one, slam it, and then slide it back where it was like he didn't take it.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can talk to her a little bit. Who are Xandar and Zorana? Who are these people that you talk about?
They're Zenzarin. How could they be here? I don't know how it could be, but I know them. I know them from our time on the Bodal River with the Zenzarin. It's impossible, but they saved me. Byron, while you're over, you're trying to be sort of deceptive, so right? So roll a deception check for me. Back to Rhunar and Theo. You hear her say that about Xandar and Zanara.
So they were people you knew in your time amongst the Zenzarin, yes?
They were guides to us, like guides. Xandar was assigned to me to watch over me as I made expeditions into the jungle to collect samples and specimens for our collections. And Zanara, she worked with Dr. Gra quite closely.
And
I don't know how they could be here.
Just outside your window waiting when you opened it?
I don't know. I was not in control of myself, of my faculties. I was being carried or thrown or dragged and then I was dropped to the ground and I saw them attack this aberration, this creature. And then I saw it disappear into the river.
A monster.
Yes, something terrible. It was huge. Oh my God.
We understand. It's okay. We will make sure you are safe one way or the other now that we are here. You are not going out of our sight until we get this resolved. Do not worry.
Byron, what did you roll?
I got a 7 on deception.
Arid kind of looks at you and he kind of does one of these like, he pours you one more.
Nice.
And he gives you a nod and a wink, and then he goes back to taking care of some of the other guests.
Nice.
We're going to get to you in a minute, Tenoch, as you're still working on casting this ritual spell. Any follow-ups from Rhunar or Theo or additional actions from Byron at this point?
I'm just going to say, I know it's hard to think about now, but can you describe the creature to us? How big it was? What did its face look like?
I can try. Let me do this. I'm going to make a roll for her. I'm going to make a history roll. Just a straight D20. To see how much information she'll be able to provide. I rolled an 8.
She describes Rhunar.
He's terrifying.
Terrifying. He was terrifying. She says, this creature was huge. She looks you right in the eye, and you can just see terror in her eyes as she looks away from the fire for a moment and looks at you. It stood 15, 20 feet tall over me. I mean, look at these markings. And she pulls up her shirt a little bit so you can see the claw marks again. It had, and you know, she is a, just to put it in context, I rolled an 8, but she is a biologist, for lack of a better term. She studies flora and fauna, so she's got some faculty to be able to describe things. She says it was both insectoid and beast. The claws, like some sort of feline, some sort of jaguar or tiger. Its face, these giant mandibles, like a stag beetle almost. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. It makes no sense. It walked on 4 legs, but could stand on 2 as it reared above.
Chupacabras are all over this island. Kidding, I'm kidding.
I've not heard of this, but it could be. It was terrifying. That's about all she can remember at this point.
Okay.
And
All right,
we'll...
just try to relax. Try to relax.
Yes.
And I'll see if I can find her a blanket or something.
Sure. All right. Byron, was there anything else you wanted to do before we move to Tenoch?
You know, if it's possible, Byron will attempt to snag one more rum shot, and then, or actually 2 more rum shots, one for himself, and he'll bring the other over to her, to Taniyka, and he'll sit down next to her really close, and he'll reach into his bag and he'll take out alchemical elixirs and their effects, and kind of just flip to a random page and like put it in front of her, kind of to distract her, to make her feel like a little more calm, and be like, check out this sweet book that I have. And he'll take his shot of rum and hand her one.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check for me with advantage. Nicely done.
$24.
Yes, you give her the shot, the book laid in front of her on her lap. She's staring at the fire and she looks down at it. You hand her the shot, she takes it from you. She looks up at you. She takes it down like a champ. This is not her first shot of hag shot or whatever it was, the rum. Let's say it was the rum, because the rum is a little bit better. She takes the shot of rum and she hands you the empty shot glass. And you can see that she starts to breathe a little bit more rhythmically instead of sort of that hyperventilatory rapid breathing. And she starts to calm down, and she turns the page of the book. She looks at you and says, "Thank you." Meanwhile, Tenoch, tell us about what you're doing.
Yeah, so I take out my my spell casting focus, which is like a large kind of tiger's eye crystal, and I kind of lay it down. You know, I probably take out my spell book, tiger hide, you know, and some other like bits and bobs of like bones and teeth and stuff, and kind of lay all this out, and ultimately spend like 10 minutes kind of chanting, and the tiger, the crystal, my focus kind of begins to like float up into the air and almost like kind of grows in size, and just kind of slowly starts to rotate. And I'm gonna, as best I can. Like ultimately, the spell mechanically says I can create a sensor within range, which is up to a mile, at a location familiar to you, or a place you visited or seen before. So as best I can, I want to get to like the area that we found her at. So I want to be able to see that location as best I can.
Okay.
And just kind of watch the darkness, and maybe see if anything, if this, I mean, it's taking me 10 minutes, but maybe it's slow, see if this thing comes back or, and I might even like kind of, it allows me to, I can use my, can I move it? This instrument is in position. I do not move it. But yeah, I'll just kind of sit and watch for I don't know, a reasonable amount of time, I guess.
Okay. So it's
See
essentially
if I
like
can.
like an eye that watches that location.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I can switch between seeing or hearing from it. I can't do both at the same time. Evidently, which is fine. It's raining outside. I probably can't hear shit anyway.
Okay. Roll a perception check for the sensor.
Just a D20 or like.
You can use your perception.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
It's about the same as just rolling a D20 for me.
Okay. What'd you roll?
A 7. I rolled
Okay.
a 7. Yep.
Like
all my rolls tonight.
And actually, it'd probably be at disadvantage still, just because. But anyways,
Here, let me see. Oh, yep, an 8. So yeah, 7.
Yeah. Okay. So, the sensor doesn't really pick up much. The rain is still coming down in sheets. You can see the banks of the river swelling. You don't pick up any additional animal or beast activity or other activity at all. You do kind of have the view of the dead croc as it's laying in place. And if you were to sort of maneuver that sensor around, you'd be able to probably pick out these giant snakes, because they're not small snakes, they're giant snakes.
Right.
Even though they're only medium sized, they're pretty big. So you do see the carnage that you left behind, but you don't see any additional activity in that location.
Okay. Yeah, and then once I feel like I'm not going to see anything, I'll cancel it, and put my stuff away.
Okay. Anything else? Any additional interaction with Taniyka that you'd like to make, guys?
No, but Theo's going to just kind of tell Byron and Rhunar to keep an eye on her for a second, and then go over to where Tenoch is and wait for Tenoch to come out of his clairvoyant trance. And when he does,
And
he's
I do.
going to bring you up to speed with the. She says something scratched on the door. She blacked out. He, in fact, does do the air quotes. And when she came to, 2 of these Anzaran tribesmen that were their guides when they were amongst those people were there fighting a 15-foot tall monster beast. So I think the beast is either here hunting her and hunted the doctor, or the beast was in her and they drew it out. Maybe it's back in her. I don't know if that part even works out. We need to find these tribesmen, though, if they are here.
Uh-huh. Wow. Yes. Yeah, this is troubling.
You should have heard the description of the fucking thing. It's like 15 feet tall and has like stag beetle mouth, and it's like part beast and part insect and has feline claws. And it just sounds like the type of thing you have in a bad nightmare after you drank too much claw wine.
Whatever that is sounds gross.
It is fucking terrible.
Yeah, this could be some Zanzaran ritual that they've. I've never actually seen anything like that, though.
sleep on it. I just wanted to make sure I said it out loud to you so you could think about it before we all went back to go to bed, didn't have a chance to talk, and then it turns out in the middle of the night it fell out of the ceiling on us and tried to murder us. So
What did her clothes look like?
they looked fairly cut. Wait. Theo pulls out the piece of red cloth. Does the piece of red cloth look like it came off her clothes?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
It's
so
a
it is
torn piece of fabric from her clothing.
good, important to know.
What do her clothes look like? Does it look like she hulked out, as it were?
Roll an investigation check.
All right. Where is my character sheet? Here it is.
It's in your heart.
He has
I'm gonna
no heart.
roll. Ooh, never mind. Yep, investigation.
He rolled an 8.
Hey, that's
Again.
good, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's
Better
better.
than a 2.
It's on the thick part of your bell curve for tonight's rolls, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. I mean, her clothing seems intact. It's torn across the abdomen, and you can see clearly where that patch of fabric that Theo has in his hand was torn from her. It does not look like she ripped out of her clothing. Her clothing is on her, and it's not torn off of her.
Is she wearing any jewelry that I can see? I'm across the fucking
across the
room,
room.
you know?
No, you can't see really whether she has jewelry or not.
Did
Byron,
she teach me anything about the book that I handed her?
In fact, she turns another page, and she's not fully engaged with the book. She's still shooken up, but she's like, where did you get this book? It's interesting.
Byron's going to remember that he's supposed to be in disguise at this point, and he's going to start talking in his accent again. Hey, it's part of me medicine stuff that I do.
Oh, yes, you're a doctor. I forgot. Well,
yes.
Yes, it's... Some of these ingredients are quite interesting and hard to find.
Tell me, do any of them... Tell me some of the ingredients that you speak of.
She pages through it, and she rattles off a couple of different names of different things that she sees in there, and she says, many of these grow in the north of Gradzul. This doesn't seem to be a book from this region. Are you from that area?
I hate Gradzul. That's a terrible place to go. Don't go there.
Theo's going to wander back over at this point and go, Taniyka, apologies. One other thing.
Yes.
Who is Chrysos?
Chrysos is not a who. She kind of looks around. She says, perhaps sit with me. And she sort of invites you to sit down at the bench that she's on.
Theo will sit down at the other end of the bench at a reasonable distance.
Are the rest of you there at this point as well?
Yeah, I'll come over for sure.
Okay. I'm still sitting by her.
She says, Chrysos is not a who. It's a what. It's a theory. It's something that Dr. Gra has been working on most of his professional career. He's written several books on the subject, proposing this theory, this what he calls a Chrysos theory, a Chrysos. The idea is essentially that global catastrophe, events, celestial or geological or supernatural even, can cause shifts in cultural and biological systems, transformations, if you will, that result in the bifurcation where new forms replace the old. It is, the way he describes it is a rearrangement of matter. These transformational effects periodically bring about aberrant forms, creatures that are an amalgamation, monstrous in their form. They themselves, it is said in some cultures, as in the Zanzarin is why we ended up there. They have similar lore, not of this term, this Chrysos term. This was something that the doctor developed, but of lore that suggests that these types of transformations take place and cause great extinction events. The twin cataclysms could potentially be considered part of that kind of a transformation. Dr. Gra's research and my assistance supporting that research was more on the biological level, the reorganization of matter as it pertains to life forms.
That's creating the owlbear.
Perhaps.
Well, that's a
What's an
horrifying
owlbear?
theory that I can't say is entirely incorrect, and that bothers me more than... Why do you mention this?
This creature that I saw above me that, for all I knew, was about to take my life, was something unnatural. And then to see Xandar and Zanara there fighting it off, I have to assume that the two are connected, don't you see?
I would ask you a question. In your time amongst these Ansarin, did you ever see any of the people transform into anything?
Not in the physical sense, but in the ritual sense, in the cultural sense. Yes, they're much of their ritual and much of their lore and storytelling was one of transformation, not of an aberrant and destructive nature, but of a glorious and radiant nature of a it's almost hard for me to say it coming from my background, but a holy approach to this idea of transformation, but not in the physical sense. These were rituals. These were the dances of the people, the oral lore and storytelling and the oral history of these people.
And just to Tenoch,
Mm.
did you not say at one point that the Zanzarin are known to to their neighbors for turning into terrifying beasts or being associated with horrific monsters? Yes.
Yes, that is what the stories tell us. Whether or not that is true or not,
Where are you from again, Tenoch?
I am from the lands to the west
Theo kind of
of the where's the name of that fucking river? Where'd that go?
Bodal River.
Bodal. Yeah.
You're from quite a ways west from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Theo kind of has visibly put on his thinking cap at this point and is like rubbing the bridge of his nose and kind of moving his head back and forth and occasionally, hand doing this. It's like, so if we had a people who lived in an area with aberrant monsters encircling them, the neighbors might not know if that was the locals or if that was the tribe. Inversely, if they were in that land, it speaks to a possibility that there was a historical tradition at one point of monster hunting, and that would having holy connotations with that would seem to follow. So they're jungle paladins? Or at least jungle monster hunters. Which, if the monster was here would be why they were here. Either way, we should find them. I think they have answers.
Is it possible they stowed away on your boat, on your ship here?
I mean, I don't know how else they would have gotten here, but I can tell you with certainty that I did not see them aboard the ship. There was no mention of them aboard the ship. There's something else that I have to tell you.
Are you hopelessly in love with me? It happens all the time. Do not be worried.
No, that's not it.
Yes.
Well, then it can't be worse.
There's something else about the creature. As it stood above me, as Xandar and Znara rushed in to fight it off of me, I heard it call my name. And the voice, it was Dr. Graz.
And Theo just looks at Tenoch with the...
And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, everybody. We're going to take a 10-minute break, so we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Please don't forget to type the word curse into the chat, and you'll be entered to win at the end of the stream a copy of Barovian, Born and Raised, which is an awesome Curse of Strahd supplement where you get to play as native Barovians to fight against Strahd, which what could be better, right? So enter the word curse. We will be back in 10 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all of you, and we will be back in a little bit. Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, we're back here in Greyhawk on the Cybert Isle. Some serious business has gone down this evening, but before we jump back into the craziness that is Beyond Saltmarsh, I just want to remind everybody in the chat, we do have a giveaway tonight. We're giving away a digital copy of CZ RPG's latest title, Barovian Born and Raised, which is a Curse of Strahd supplement that is absolutely amazing. Christian and his team have done a great job writing and laying it out and gathering the artwork for it. It's really cool. It's got all kinds of player options, and it's a great tool for DMs. So please enter to win by putting the keyword curse in the chat. Your odds are going to be pretty good tonight, so enter the keyword curse, and we'll see who wins at the end of the stream.
Win some goodies
That's
from
right.
Christian. He will teach you the darkest ways.
Congratulations. We've just invented your theme song. You don't owe us
Wow.
anything for that. Really, we would like you to pay us.
Oh
or we'd
man,
like
we
to
just
pay you to
lost
take
2
it from us.
viewers.
Yeah, exactly.
And gained 5.
That was like that was you were like channeling a little Michael Bublé. I like it. I like it.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Christian, that one's on us, buddy. All right. So we're going to get back to the scene here, channeling in to the immersion. We are back in the Dry Dock Tavern and Inn. Taniyka, who has been rescued by the Deg Gang from a terrible fate, has just been calmed with some gestures from Byron. She has provided some substantial lore drop in terms of what might be going on here. And she's given you some ideas about who could potentially be involved. You are now still in the inn. The fire is crackling, and the rum seems to be flowing. Does anybody want to do anything else this evening? Byron, I'm looking at you.
Byron's gonna get a couple more shots of rum, hook Taniyka up with some more,
Okay.
and then and maybe even try and get her like, you know, a little looser, a little more chill, and then he's gonna start asking her if she wants to join our crew.
Oh, okay. At this point, first of all, what's your Constitution modifier? You're muted.
I was beatboxing while I scrolled over to my character sheet.
Figures.
Nice.
My Constitution modifier is +1.
Oh, okay. I need you to make. You've already had multiple shots at this point.
I think like
So-
5.
Yeah. So as you take this shot now, which is your 6th, I'm gonna have you roll a con save with disadvantage.
If he rolls like we've been rolling, just boom down.
What was it?
A
2.
1.
I got a nat 1.
A natural 1.
For a
Yeah.
total-
For
Oh
a
my
total
God.
of 2. For a total.
All right,
of 2.
roll a
Shot goes up, Byron goes down.
roll a d6 for me.
A 3.
You are, according to this awesome rule, this rule set that I have here called Getting Drunk, which I have modified from someone on Reddit named Semenstra. So Semenstra, here's looking at you, buddy. I've modified it a little bit, but you are currently hammered. You have 3 levels of intoxication. You have disadvantage on attack rolls. You vomit right away after you take the shot. You vomit in front of the gang, all over yourself, and
All in the beard.
yep, all in this huge
The
beard that you have. And then
You need
I
a new
need you to
baboon.
roll a d10 for me, because you are about
no.
to. This is the part where we don't know where it's going to go, but you
I got a nat 1.
all right, you take on what's called a drunk persona. They say a drunk man's
It's
words
already
are
a
a
drunk
sober
persona.
man's thoughts. Drinking brings out something different in everyone. And for you, my friend, you are taking on the persona of the therapist. You're worried about your friend, right? You can pick anyone in the party to focus on. And it's up to you, Byron, to give this person sage guidance and advice. Could be good advice, could be morally questionable, your choice. But
Rhunar.
this gets to the bottom of their deepest personal issue, according to you, and your need to help them fix it. Even if they say they're okay, you know they're not.
Rhunar.
Oh, shit.
Rhunar.
What's up,
You've
buddy?
You've been hoarding these weapons.
I know.
you've
I
been-
had to
you're
leave
just-
a couple here.
But well, listen to me. It's not good. It's not good, man. look at this here, and I'll reach into my pouch. I'll take out my whip. Look at it. You don't have one of these. I know you don't have one of these. This is. You have a problem. You need to think about these weapons.
Okay.
And you need to think about these weapons. You need to think about them. Are you thinking about them? Are you thinking about my whip?
No, I hadn't considered a whip.
Well, are you thinking about it now?
I mean,
so see, this is what I'm talking about. This is a problem.
Is it for sale?
You need to stop. I will 250 gold.
I'm pretty sure I can find it. I'm pretty sure
this is a special whip. But Rhunar, seriously.
I don't need a special one. I just need a whip.
What are you doing with all these weapons? Are you putting them in your cabin? I
carry as many on my person as I can, and then I put the rest in my cabin for a rainy day.
But why?
I want to have the right weapon at the right time.
So what's the right weapon for a bug tiger with bare hands and an insect body?
Maybe a ranged weapon. Something where I don't have to get too close to it.
Rhunar, I'm worried.
Don't be worried. I'll be fine. I'm a fighter. I need these things.
Rhunar.
So at this point, yeah, you guys look over at Byron, and he's just hanging on Rhunar, talking his ear off, and Rhunar just kind of gives you like the look, right? And the night starts to grow long, and Taniyka decides to take her leave. She asks you, Theo, if you would escort her to her room.
Taniyka, your room was just attacked. I would really suggest you stay on our ship. It's in the harbor. There is flowing water around it, which in many superstitions keeps the evil things at bay.
Of course.
And we will have ourselves and our crew in case anything happens.
We will go there tonight.
I was going to leave right now because I think our friend the doctor is done.
But the storm.
Theo.
Is the storm still going like heavily?
The storm is still going heavily.
Tell Taniyka she needs to stay on the boat.
Dr. McKillingutty has
I will get right
advantage.
on that, doctor. Okay, yes, it's a bad idea to go to the storm.
Oh, you got advantage.
Probably get you and I, but
Arid walks over and says, "I have another room prepared. Yes, if you would like to perhaps stand watch to make her feel better, or guard, whatever I can do to help, just let me know." And he rushes off to take care of other guests.
In that case, Taniyka, we will set you up in the new room. One or two of us will stay in there on watch at various points the whole night. We are not going to leave you alone.
I would feel better about that. Thank you, Theo.
I'll stay.
You are going to sleep it off, Dr. Drunky.
Theo, it's about this time in the evening as you sort of are gathering your friends and Taniyka to sort of make your way up. The night is sort of ending in the tavern, that you feel a hand on your shoulder.
Yeah.
You turn around to look, and it's Sales. She's like,
huh.
"Well, what the hell have you gotten yourselves into, boys?" He looks like shit, and she points at Byron.
It's the beard that mostly does that, also heavily drunk. Tenoch, would you and Rhunar go up to the room with the wonderful lady here, Taniyka, whose name I've forgotten for a second, and do first watch? I need to talk to Sales and catch her up. And then in a few hours, we will come and relieve you, yes?
That sounds fine.
Yeah.
Okay. The two of you kind of gather Taniyka, and as you pass by Tenoch, Sales turns to you and says, "How you doing?"
Hey.
Hey, be careful. I hear his dick is the same as mine. Just huge, very long.
What?
He actually lost
What?
a leg in the war.
What?
And then,
Do I have a bleep button somewhere?
What?
I thought she was your sister.
Yeah.
We just lost 4 viewers.
Oh no!
well, Theo is bad at humor.
Oh
Okay.
boy. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Roll a persuasion check with disadvantage and negative 50.
I'm not rolling shit. That's not gonna work.
No.
You trying to convince me or you?
So anyways, so she just says hello. The two of you, Rhunar and Tenoch, take Taniyka up to the room and kind of get her settled in, let her kind of get her things together. What do you do to get her settled real quick?
Well, we'll get a few of her whatever she needs out of her room.
Mm-hmm.
I'll gather up the items that I dropped before I jumped out of the window. And
There's just a pile of weapons
Of
laying in
course.
the room.
There's a
it was
small
a
arsenal.
great sword, a great sword, and a morning
A
star.
great sword.
And a morning star.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like wrapped up.
Oh man.
I'll just, I'll take a look around. Is it where are we going to bring where's this other room? Is it on the ground floor?
No,
It's
it's on
next
the
door.
the upstairs. All the rooms
Mhm.
are on the upstairs, and it's the farthest on the end of the hall.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've already acquired us that room
All right.
because
So
I
I'll
did
just
that before. I did that before all the shenanigans
So
started.
you have that room, and you have the one next to it. So you guys have two rooms.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I just go with her, just make sure she's not alone in the room.
Okay.
And I don't know.
She slumps into the bed and falls asleep almost immediately. What do you guys do with Byron?
I'll leave
Right
him
now, I'm
downstairs
gonna
for a
keep
little
an
bit.
eye on
That's Theo's problem.
it's like keep Byron kind of next to me while I sit down and give Sales the everything that has fucking happened in this one day, because this has been one day. In one day, we have done all these things.
So let me get this straight. Yesterday, we dropped anchor in the harbor. This morning, we made landfall here in Cyber, went about our merry way of investigating. And just moments ago, you engaged in a battle with a crocodile and saved a young woman from the maw of some giant beast.
Wait, did you tell her about the warehouse, Thea?
Yeah, I mentioned the warehouse.
And the warehouse. You've been busy.
We
It's a hell of a first day.
we just despise idle hands, apparently. Let
Let me
Sales,
ask
did
you,
you
what
hear
is
about
it?
the crocodile?
Yes, I did. Are you you think you're gonna be okay, Hern? He doesn't look good.
I'm going to let him pass out shortly.
Tell me, what's the plan for tomorrow? If this has happened in one day, what do you think happens on day 2?
Sky opens up, demons fall out of it, we run away screaming. Best guess.
Well, let's hope that's
Real
not the case.
real answer? We need to find these tribes people. I have a they are most likely the key holders as to what is going on, because we have a very sneaking suspicion that may be confirmed that the beast is the doctor. The doctor made some really bad decisions when he was amongst the tribe. We just need to find them, see what's going on, because they're clearly tracking this monster. Because we need to either bring back the monster or, the doctor, because we find ourselves already short the cargo we're supposed to pick up. I was hoping you would just be an absolute dear and be paid to just keep Taniyka company whenever we're not around, and not be her bodyguard, but kill anyone that becomes a problem if they attack her.
You want me to babysit her?
Yes, that's why I'm going to pay you.
Well, I'm willing to do whatever the team needs, of course.
Well, did you have
Of
anything
course.
else you plan to do for tomorrow? I didn't ask how your day was, by the way. And he just kind of leans forward, crosses his hands in front of him, and goes, "How was your day?"
Well, it was interesting. I explored the town like you asked me to. And she goes on at that point to sort of give you a description of these people that she's gotten a bit of a feel for, the people of cyber. There is a sense of strong, willful independence that although these people are descendants of directly the pirates and the sailors who comprise the hold of the Sea Princes, that they pride themselves on this location's self-sufficiency, the fact that they really don't import much. They are able to provide their agricultural needs, their timber needs, their food needs, and it is very much an export economy. There is a lot of money here, although there is a broad disparity between a couple of big landowners and the working class people, many of who are sort of like that idea of a thrall or sort of like an indentured servant in many respects. Although a lot of the people who were brought to this island through conquest of other societies within the hold have earned and purchased their freedom. They are called freemen. So there's this really interesting sort of cultural thing going on. Many of the people adhere to the old faith, which is worship of the mother goddess, the Beori. And they worship a pantheon called the Tuatha de Beori. And she doesn't know a whole lot about that, but she talks a little bit about it and how that really plays a big role in their lifestyles and sort of their independence. And she tells you a little bit about the politics as well and names a few names. You know, she calls out like the governor, who is, I think I have his name somewhere around here.
You can just drop me like a short cultural doc later if you want.
Yeah, I can't quite find it in my notes, but oh yeah, Emmanuel Ronaldo Esperanza is the governor.
That man is so Spanish, and I love him.
Yep. And so she goes on and tells you a little bit about this kind of stuff and gives you a little bit of interesting information. And at that point she says, "Well, it's been a long day. It looks as though there's much to do tomorrow. Perhaps it's time to," and she looks over at Byron, "perhaps it's time to turn in."
Definitely. We rented 2 rooms before this happened, and we're only going to half use them all. So you get your pick. I'll carry him. Just walks over, picks up Byron.
As she walks by the bar, she slaps down some gold coins on the bar table to pay the owner of the place, and then the rest of you make your way up to the rooms for the night. And you guys set a watch, correct?
Yes.
Well, without Byron.
Yeah, Rhunar and I are starting.
Okay.
I have some actions I would like to take
Okay.
during our watch.
Okay.
First, I would like to part of this, Dave, but I would like to cast Arcanist's Magic Aura.
Please.
I don't know that it's really gonna affect necessarily anything, but I think it might be something I would do nonetheless, and I would like to target her. Now, of course, the question is, it says a willing target. I don't know if she's in a number of real world instances, a person who is asleep is not considered willing. But I also don't use magic in real life, so.
So basically what it does is it tries to reveal false information about a target.
Yeah, essentially I want to create like my intent is to create like a magical false mask. So like, and obviously I don't know how Dr. Grob, man, beast, whatever tracks her,
Okay.
but if it's magic, I want to be able to create like a false read so that if
Okay.
somebody was trying to divine her with magic, whatever this these other people are, she would read as something different or a different person.
I think that's amazing. I love it. That's a cool spell. I've not seen that before. Very cool. Yeah, you is it a ritual spell?
It is not.
Okay.
But it
so,
does last 24 hours.
Okay, so it's one action, lasts 24 hours, and you're creating a mask. You
Yep,
change the way
yeah,
that the
so-
target appears to spells and magical effects that detect creature types. You choose a creature type and other spells. So what creature type would you choose?
So I guess it'd be like
Faye, do Faye.
yeah, that's like
Human,
that makes sense.
female biologist.
Like that makes sense, yeah, because realistically you got like humanoid, aberration, fae, celestial.
Undead,
Yeah,
blah,
I'd
blah,
probably go fae. I think
Okay.
if that's like if we could be as specific as like a different race or something, I might do that instead. But it doesn't necessarily say that it's that specific.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll allow it. That sounds pretty awesome.
Okay. And then I also want to cast the snare spell over by the window.
Okay.
So I'll essentially create a magical rope trap by the window.
It's literally a snare.
Yeah.
Yep, I like it. It's nearly invisible, requiring a successful intelligence check to discern. Triggers when small, medium, or large creatures move onto the ground within its radius. Blah, blah, blah. Dexterity save, etc. I love it. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
great. Yep. Those are great preparations.
Yeah.
This girl is so safer than she's ever been.
Okay. So you and Rhunar take the first watch, and the storm continues to rage through your watch. Thunder, flashes of lightning outside, the wind hitting the window of this new room that actually has a window in the window pane, in the windowsill. Let's do roll perception checks for me.
All right.
And
Not like-
me and eights, baby.
16.
8s are great. A 16 for Rhunar. Tenoch, you don't detect this, but Rhunar, about the middle of your watch, about halfway through, you hear floorboards creaking from the hallway, as if someone is walking outside the doorway.
I'm going to motion to Tenoch that like something's in the hallway. I'm going to go over to the door.
I'll stand back a bit.
Does it sound like something's getting closer?
Roll an investigation check.
Six.
It's hard to say, but you do hear it. You hear it a second time.
All right. I'll pull my swords.
Okay.
And just wait.
You stand by the door.
Yeah.
Okay. And you wait. A minute passes, and you listen. You don't hear anything. 2 minutes pass, 3, 5. You don't hear it again.
Okay.
I'm not sure we're really worried about things from the inside.
Can't be
But
too
you never
careful.
know. Yeah. It's probably Byron just stumbling to find a place to pee.
Jiggling the wrong doorknobs.
Hey guys, why did you lock the door?
All right. So your watch comes to an end. It's about middle of the night at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Should we wake up Theo and Byron? Or Byron?
Theo and
Maybe just
Sales.
Theo. Theo and
Yeah.
Sales.
Yeah.
Let's let Byron sleep it off.
You wake him. I'll wait here.
All right. So I'll go to wake up Theo.
Theo, you feel
Theo.
Rhunar shake you a little bit and call your name.
And yeah,
You're
Time-
up. Why don't you and Sales take watch?
I mean that was the plan. Yes, Sales,
All
you up?
Damn it, yeah. All right,
So fucking
my
well.
turn.
Let's go.
So you guys switch it up, and Theo and Sales take a watch.
And I say, don't go by the window. I put a trap there.
Uses the magic eyes and goes, huh? So you fucking did. It's a good trick.
Sales turns to you, Theo, and says, "I like this guy."
Me too. And he's so handsome.
Do you have a +2 to charisma?
She kind of shrugs.
He's not a
All right, so Tenoch and Rhunar, you retire to the room, and you just hear Byron
Yeah.
just sawing logs, just. All right, so Theo and Sales take a watch, and let's get a roll for perception. We'll just have you roll. Roll with advantage. We'll have you roll it.
thank Crom for that. 21.
Oh, very nice. As you sit there making conversation with Sales, I'm sure, but keeping it low so that Taniyka can sleep. The two of you have conversations, maybe reminisce a little bit. You do hear the rain start to subside, as if the storm has begun to pass. The pitter-patter of the raindrops on the windowsill start to lessen, and the thunder and lightning seems to end altogether as the night goes on. But you do not hear anything else creeping in the night or anything that disturbs you or waves a red flag. And eventually you hear the roosters begin to crow around town as the sun starts to rise, and you can see just the orange glow of the sunrise in the window, kind of reflecting off the damp, wet, still water covered windowsill. And it is morning. You guys have all taken a long rest, and so go ahead and recharge whatever spell slots or hit points as it is in Dungeons and Dragons. You heal up real good after a long rest, so go ahead and do that. And the morning is yours. Byron, roll a d20 for me.
$18.
You have a wicked hangover, and you have 1 level of exhaustion today.
Okay. What does 1 level exhaustion entail?
You have disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay.
I as part of my kind of waking ritual, as I get up, I cast my bones.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
What'd you get? What'd you get?
I rolled a 16 and a 19.
Tell us
Thinking
again
that-
what that is.
So that so I'm a divination wizard. And so that is my portent ability that allows me like essentially every day upon waking or whatever, that's how I'm doing it. I consult my whatever, I consult, in my case, I consult my collection of runed and glyphed bones and animal teeth to see what Mother Tiger's insight has granted me for the day. Mother Tiger being the great animal spirit that my people revere. sometimes god, sometimes devil, depending on what side of the tiger you're on that day.
Tenoch, I just see you
Yeah.
doing your business over there. Don't forget, we need to send that message to Mariconia today
Good call.
and let him know about the ship. What was the...
I rearranged my spells. Boop. Boop.
I can't remember the name of the ship
We
now.
have a wizard, which is cool.
I just wrote down Captain Anton. I did not get the name of the ship he was on.
I
You
had
guys would
The
remember.
Lord's Trident
Correct.
Lord's Trident, yeah.
Yeah, you would
on the
remember
way to
that.
Monmerg. And he should know, so he can try to intercept it. We should also ask Taniyka if she knows anything about that.
Yeah, let's do that first.
Okay.
Yeah.
She wakes up and she kind of gathers herself together and she's walking slowly. You can tell she's kind of sore and still tired. And she's got the blanket she's got a blanket from the bed sort of wrapped around her. And she's like, I need food.
We will get that. By the way, Taniyka, I forgot I did not introduce you. This is my sister, Sales. Sales, this is Taniyka. She was the doctor's assistant. She was the young lady who attacked last night. Taniyka, Sales is going to stay with you just to make sure you are not alone, so this doesn't happen again until we can get everything squared away.
Sales working her charismatic sort of action. She kind of moves in at that point after getting sort of like a nod from Taniyka, and she's like, "Oh dear, you look pretty good for being attacked last night. Please, let's get you some food. Let's get you settled. We're gonna get you out to the ship today. It's a beautiful day. We're gonna take good care of you, okay?" And Tanika's just like, "Yes, thank you. Sales, is that your real name?" And she's like, "Yeah, for the most part. We'll talk more about that later." You guys want to ask her some questions, though? Sounds like, but you guys all,
yeah.
Yep, you guys all go downstairs. Arid has breakfast ready. You can smell bacon cooking, and Byron, you feel a little sick at first when you smell the food, and it's a little hard for you. But there's enough food for everybody, and Arid just kind of lays it out for you, and he doesn't even say much. He's just serving food, and he's wiping his hands and asks, "Can I get you anything else? Coffee?" You definitely need coffee. He brings out coffee for Byron and brings it around. So he's taking pretty good care of everybody. And you're sitting there at a long table eating.
Theo, do you have anything for a headache? Can you cast a spell, clean my headache
Punch
away?
will give you more rum.
No rum, never rum.
Look, I can heal. I can help heal certain ills, but hangovers are not among them. If there were, I would be doing that full time and making a lot of money at it. Probably.
Yeah. Can you just clean my beard for me?
Fucking erroneous, and just starts prestidigitating out the beard, which is him just making a gesture, stroking the beard. It's clean.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh God, it smelled so bad. I was gonna be sick.
Gross.
Taniyka.
Yes.
Yesterday we went to try to follow up and locate the cargo. Dr. Graw's cargo.
Yes, I remember that you were headed to the warehouse district, and were you successful?
Not really. Well, we got to the warehouse. We were jumped.
Oh.
One thing led to another, but basically we found out that the cargo had left town.
What?
It said that the cargo was shipped out the day before on the Lord's Trident to Monmerg, signed for by a Captain Anton. Does any of that ring a bell for you?
Captain Anton? No. I mean, admittedly, I wasn't involved in the preparation or the logistics for shipping any of the cargo. It's entirely possible that that was prearranged.
But you never heard of the boat or the person?
I haven't, and I'm quite frankly, I'm surprised that I wouldn't have been contacted, or they wouldn't have sent word for the doctor. Seems strange to me.
Do you know if you had any of the cargo documents or anything like that? Did you have any of that, or did the doctor?
The doctor had all of that. He had already arranged things, to my knowledge, with the holding agents. Again, I wasn't really involved in that part of the operation. It does seem strange.
All right. Would he have had that information in his things that he left behind?
It's quite possible.
All right.
I wish I could be more help.
No, that's okay. I'm just gonna...
a little confused.
Yeah. I'm just gonna look over to Tenoch and be like, yeah, I think we might need to send that message today.
I'll do that. I'm typing up the possible message just so I get
You're not going to I'm going to count off on my fingers how many words you've used?
Is this sending?
Does it involve a small bird that flies out and chirps the message at?
It should.
Yep.
Tell us about this.
Hang on. Give me a sec.
Meanwhile, while Tenoch is thinking about a message, what are the rest of you? Anything else that you want to ask Taniyka, or follow-ups or plans for the day?
I would ask Taniyka, or Theo would ask Taniyka, to describe our two individuals whose names are Xander and Zarana.
Xandar and Zarana, yes. They are twins, brother and sister. They were, as I mentioned last night, guides to us when we were staying with the Zenzaran tribe. And as with the people of that region, they have a fairly distinct dress, a way of clothing themselves, and she kind of rattles off some descriptions of, essentially they are a very spiritual society, but they don't have a lot of material things, like possession and ownership is not something that is highly valued in their society, which is very different from many of the other societies that you're familiar with, where ownership is everything, land and things and power over people. They're more of a spiritual connections are the currency, if you will, for lack of a better term. But she describes them as dark-skinned people, not wholly dissimilar to sort of the vibe that Tenoch gives off, in terms of sort of a tribal, very connected to nature sort of clothing, the leather garments that they wear, adorned in tattoos that cover much of their body. Also, jewelry that they do wear jewelry that is given to them as gifts, and it's something that is, of the possessions that they do have, that is something that is valued, is the gift of different jewelries and adornments. And so there's a lot of ritualistic sort of pomp and circumstance is not the right word, but you kind of get the idea that they are
a lot of intention in what they do.
Yes.
I follow the idiom.
Yep. But definitely like in terms of complexion, a darker skin tone, dreaded or sort of like braided hairs, men and women wearing long hair, both of them. And again, the tattoos are prominent.
They, I believe, if they are in town, will not be hard to find. They may not be in town, though.
From what I can remember from last night, when the beast, that monster, took off into the jungle, they gave chase.
Or we'll go into the jungle. Okay, yeah.
Did you only see them once you were outside?
Before I saw you, I must have lost consciousness, but
Oh, so you didn't see him until you were out.
I-
Until you woke up out there.
she thinks for a minute. The only time I saw them was as the beast was standing over me. It must have dropped me, perhaps from their presence, but the beast was somehow pushed away from me by their attack. I
Yeah, 'cause
truly believe that they saved my life. And
last night,
she looks at you and you get a sense that she is very convinced. Her conviction is strong. You don't even need to roll an insight check that she feels that they saved her life. It's very obvious.
yeah,
As did you.
yeah, last night when we heard you scream, we ran upstairs and I saw them chasing the creature. Saw two figures chasing them.
That
Chasing
must
it.
have been them. Again, I have no idea how or why they would be here, but I am grateful that they were.
Well, hopefully we can find them. They seem to know how to get through to this thing. If it is Dr. Graw, maybe there's a way, maybe they know of a way to cure him. Do you know, if that was the doctor, do you know how this could have happened to him?
I heard that voice. It's unmistakable. She kind of closes her eyes and you can see her sort of like almost kind of like remembering. It was his voice, but that was not him. He is a gentle, kind-hearted man, curious and respectful, and he would never do those things, but there's something. I can't think of anything at the moment or why this would happen, but
Metamorphosis.
Some kind of
As-
curse or something?
As you said, new forms replace the old.
Chrysis?
crisis.
But there are many things that could cause this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
That yes, what you said, but also yes, what she said. Any theories I have right now are useless. All that matters is that we find something concrete. Yes.
I will prepare to cast my spell. I'm ready.
Okay. Now tell me, this is a sending spell, right? And you have 25
Yes.
words that you can send?
Yep.
Just give us
So
a
I
little
can send-
flavor about what does your sending spell look like?
Oh, I'm glad you asked because I have a very specific image in mind.
Okay.
Right. So sending spell, its given component is a piece of copper wire. Now, number one, I have a spell focus, so I don't necessarily need to use that. But I also think that coming from the jungle, copper wire probably isn't something that I have a lot of. But I'll have something that kind of takes its place.
Mhm.
A
And so
copper coin?
I pull out like a large kind of leaf, and I start to fold it origami style, and I shape it into the form of a bird, and I take like a small knife and cut some glyphs into it, and I breathe on it, and it kind of like turns into like a parrot type bird, a colorful jungle bird, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say I kind of it looks at me, it looks at me, and I look at it, and I say, Gross still missing, strange happenings, investigating. Cargo on Lord's Trident, Captain Anton, en route to Monmurg. Quick question. So the ship left the day before yesterday, so 2
Correct.
days ago.
Yes.
Left Cyber 2 days ago. Reply with this bird, and then I breathe out, and it kind of flies off, and then kind of before it like gets to the wall or like a window or something, it just kind of disappears. And in Monmurg, wherever
Mr. America.
Nadar Kimbatul, my Blue Dragonborn boss,
Mm-hmm.
wherever he is, like this bird appears in like a small, like, I don't know, puff of wind and rain, perhaps, of jungle smells, and goes ah, and then repeats that.
And then he can reply to it as well, right?
Yep.
A couple minutes pass, and the rest of you watch as he folds this leaf and inscribes it with these glyphs, and it essentially like transforms itself into this like beautiful bird like apparition and just flies away. And you've never seen anything like it, none of you. A couple minutes later, Tenoch, you hear in your mind's eye the familiar voice of Nadar. Tenoch, good to hear from you, my friend. We'll keep an eye out for the trident. I know Anton. Appreciate the message. Be careful.
Do we hear that?
I turn to my friends, my companions, and I say, they'll keep an eye on it. They'll keep an eye out for the ship. Evidently, Nadar knows this Anton.
And that is even better.
Aye.
Sounds good.
So at this point, you have had breakfast. The plates are being cleared. Another round of coffee is being poured for you as you kind of gather yourselves and discuss what the plans are for the day. Go ahead.
Well, Taniyka should probably go stay on the boat, right?
Yeah, so she should definitely stay on the boat.
Okay. We should
I
definitely
said that 2 nights ago for the record.
Yeah.
Last night, I don't remember.
Now, if this, how are we going to get Dr. Graw?
Here's my question.
Sharp weapons.
Does putting her on the boat matter?
Well,
if this guy can transform or whatever into this monstrous thing, we have to assume it's going to be able to get to the boat. It might be safer if she's closer, even if we're off in the bush. That way we also don't destroy our ship if this if this monster comes after the ship.
I had wondered about that. Are we still with her, by the way?
Yeah, we're at breakfast.
Okay.
She's there, but she's talking to Sales kind of on a side conversation. Right. Sales knows when to sort of, do her thing.
All right.
I mean, it's a good idea, but it might be safer for all parties if she stays here.
for everything we have going on, I think that is one of the lesser points. I think the greater point is first we need to find these twins. They are pretty much our only source of information on what is happening, and I have a feeling they will actually know what has gone on. Maybe they will only know it in metaphors and simile, but they, I think, will have enough practical information to enlighten us as to what we can do.
We
I
don't
think we're
really
just-
know where we can find them, though, right?
No, we're going to have to go hunt.
Yeah. I mean, do we just go back to the scene, the crocodile?
I
It's a
mean, there
good
might
place
be
to start.
tracks.
There probably won't be, but it's a good place to start.
Maybe they're just hanging out there somewhere.
My concern as well is if these two are from a distant tribe, they may not be comfortable in town, or they may not want to be known that they are there because they are hunting something like a giant monster.
Or maybe they didn't make it.
And we will find their bodies and find a priest.
Really hear it all.
All right, so maybe we should go examine the scene today.
Never hear it all. Bigger problems.
Let's.
That's fair.
I think I'm gonna cut my beard off, guys.
I think
Oh,
that's
really?
a safe
Hold on.
bet. That thing's gross. And
Reaches
that
up
comes from a
and
guy with
uses
dreadlocks.
vegetation to just shear the beard off.
I accept.
It's gone. It's roll a performance check, Theo. I just want to see like how good of a shearing this is.
How fucking David Copperfield do you get on this thing?
Yeah.
You accidentally make the bar disappear. Nice.
What was it?
A 20.
22.
Oh yeah. It looks good. Like it's a nice shave. It's not down. Is it down to the skin? Or you tell me what it looks like.
Like a little bit of stubble, but it's definitely like just place hands on cheeks on either side and just run down each meat at the chin and just pinch it off.
Oh my
and
god,
drop.
that's
So
beautiful.
he's got like the little triangle pointy beard at the end.
Nope, it's
As
just,
your
it's just,
hands-
it's just a 5 o'clock shadow.
That's dude. If we actually had prestidigitation that could be used like that, I would probably shave. If it was that easy, I probably would shave because
I
I'm
would too.
lazy and I don't like shaving. That's why I have this thing on my face.
If it was a real prestidigitation is the type of magic that would change societies.
Oh my god, the best magic. I mean, that's the one cantrip that I would always take.
I would use it to shave my neck.
Yeah,
Better than that.
I would never
Absolutely.
shave my face.
I've seen you with a shaved face before. Anyways, I digress.
No, you haven't.
I'm pretty sure I have,
I-
but
It might have been a picture. I haven't shaved my face since August 19th, or I'm sorry, July 19th, 2014 was the last day I shaved.
all right. Well, maybe I haven't then. I thought I did.
That was my last day in the army.
Wow. Thank you for your service and your beard. All right. So you guys, you shave Byron's beard. Byron, you feel a sense of almost like relief. You feel lighter. I mean, it was a substantial beard. Let's not beat around the bush. Pun intended. It was huge. And now you guys, Taniyka and Sales decide to make their way to wherever you want them to. Are you going to send them to the ship, or are you going to have them stay in the inn? That's
Have
what
them
she
stay
asked.
here.
Okay.
There's also
Wait.
no
We
she's help.
before we decide to keep him here, like I understand your point about the ship and the monster potentially being able to get to the ship, but if the monster can't get to the ship, because when we're talking, it's going to have to swim. It's not going to be able to sneak up on our ship.
Byron, you're overcomplicating.
Yeah,
Plus the
it's
terrain.
this hangover,
you know,
man.
The terrain. There's more
Yeah.
people here. I think it's probably safer here in town.
But all of our men are on the boat.
Yeah, alive.
We do need to
Not
send
being
somebody
killed
out
by
there.
a monster.
And the people here know Taniyka. They like Taniyka. They are looking out. for
Touche.
So he just goes, you guys have a lovely day. Pulls out 10 gold and just hands it to Sales and say, you girls order all the room service you want.
No pay-per-view though.
Very well.
Let's what is this? Paper.
It's some sort of
View.
illusionary spell thing. We won't worry about it for now. So Sales and Taniyka, yep, they make their way off to do whatever they're gonna do and be safe for the day. And the four of you decide to go back to the scene of the fight the night previous.
Yes.
So my question, like, as we're leaving, do we want to try to say hire a guide, someone who knows the area? I know if this were where I'm from, like, I would want somebody who knows the area. You know what I mean?
Right.
It had not occurred to me until this very moment that such services were available.
I don't know either, but
So-
I imagine there is somebody who goes out into the bayou, the the swamp, the inland,
Yeah.
Just ask the wonderful keeper of this establishment. He has been an amazing resource so far.
Wait, can't Tenoch be our guide?
I mean, he's not from here.
I mean, I can help in a lot of ways, but I do not know this island like the back of my hand.
Could you use your bird thing and floaty eye?
I can, but Mother Tiger is a stranger to these shores. She is powerful, but it would be good to have a local eye.
I've completely forgotten the bartender's name. I apologize.
Arid.
Arid. I was just going to call him Dave, but we're going to go with Arid. Just go up to the bar. Arid, we have a question for you.
Yes, sirs. Yes. Should I hold the room for you this eve?
Definitely.
Will do. Okay, great.
Taniyka and her friend, who's a friend of ours, and will help look after her.
Yes, Miss Sales.
Miss Sales. Yes,
Yes.
She's going to be staying with her, so
Very good.
she will have company and be safe.
And rest assured, I will also keep an eye.
That's absolutely part of the reason we decided to keep her here with you. We find ourselves in need of a local guide who knows the swamps because we need to see if the beast is still out there. Would you
Yes.
know any?
Yes, of course. Guides. We have all sorts of guides. Let me think here. Yes, Philip. He wouldn't be much help. He's a fishing guide. Elon. I don't think he would be the one you want. Tana, perhaps. There are a number of local men who could potentially help you. If you intend to go into the glades, is that what you intend?
To where we found Taniyka last night.
Yes. I will tell you that mostly the locals here tend not to go into the glades. It is quite dangerous, and many people have become lost there and not returned. It may be difficult to find someone willing to go there. If you have much coin, perhaps that would help. I could put.
You understand we're looking for a crazy person.
I will put out some calls. I will send word and see if I can find somebody this morning for you. Yes, of course. I'm sure we can find somebody.
In that case, I guess we'll have another round
of coffee. Yes.
Oh, yeah, of course. And he pours you another round of coffee.
And some more bacon, please.
Oh, yes. We have much bacon. And he brings out more. And over this time, more people have come into the establishment. You can tell it's sort of like a local breakfast joint, kind of like Uncle Louie's Cafe here in Duluth on 4th Street.
I missed Uncle Louie's.
I know.
So
It's kind of an Uncle Louie's vibe going on.
I love
but Yep, you guys get your fill of coffee and bacon, and you feel rejuvenated. Do you intend to go back to the riverbank where the fight took place?
I would like to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
I wanted
place
to do
to
it before
start.
we had a guide. I wasn't sure about that. Do we want to go now, though? Like out of character?
I mean, if it's going to take him a bit, like we could always go out and check it out and then come back and
It's not
you know,
far.
check in.
You know, it's
Yeah.
on the edge. It's up. If we go back to here, let's go back to the map here. It is kind of like
It is
right up
It
in
is
here.
exactly 20 miles.
No, that's not right. That's not right. Don't go by that. But it's up in this area right here. Kind of on the
Yeah,
corner
then-
of that field.
Then we'll go looking. We'll let the good bartender know that we'll be back in a couple of hours. We're going to go check the site really quick.
Very good. Very good. I'll see if I can find somebody for you.
Such good work. And I'm just going to leave 2 gold on the counter.
And he nods to you as you head out to the location of the fight that you had the night previous. You make your way out to this location. Go ahead and tell me what you intend to do while you're there.
I will, I will, for one, I'll send my hawk to kind of scan a wide area. I will tell it to tell him to look for
Eyes? I think Byron is saying
what the
looking
fuck
for
are they
eyes.
called? God damn it.
Aberrations.
No, Zanzarans.
Oh, okay.
For people that like us, he's used to seeing, although not halfling, I'm sure, because I doubt they're halfling. And I will use the meager tracking abilities that I have from my time in the jungle. Use those skills to see if I can find where we were, like a good spot where we were, and then if we can see any other remaining extra footprints that may or may not have been here.
Okay, I love it. Go ahead and roll a survival check for Tenoch and a perception check for the black-necked hawk.
All right, that's black collared.
Black-collared hawk.
Yeah, let's.
What does
Here's
that black
my.
powered hut sound like?
I think we have something right here.
Just like a chicken.
Yep, forest chicken.
Really, it's
Yeah.
killing chicken.
All right, this is a 14 for my survival roll,
Okay.
and I guess I don't actually have. I don't have the stats for the hawk.
Just roll a
in
d20.
front of me, but here is
And
a d20.
D20 plus 3.
How about a 20?
I like it. All right, so the hawk, you send out your hawk, and it glides up high above this area. As you survey the area, you see the corpse of the crocodile. It has partially sunken into the mud, almost like half of it having been covered in sediment. As you can see now where the river banks, you can see where the river had swollen from the rain and then receded because it left debris, almost like a line of sticks and debris from upstream along the banks of the river. It also caused that crocodile to sort of sink in. As you walk up on the scene, there are 2 raven-like birds that are picking at the corpse of the crocodile, and they flush away as you walk up upon them. You look around for tracks, and you rolled a 14. You do see some large depressions in the mud, and you can make out they're filled with water, but you can make out in front of these depressions, and they're large. They're maybe like 1.5 foot in diameter. There are these large, like almost claw-like protrusions, 4 of them in front of each one of these depressions that are right in the area where Byron found Taniyka laying. You also see human tracks in that area that lead from the fence line of this agricultural area to the water's edge and then disappear. Almost suggesting as if the individuals ran towards the water and then just ran into the water almost. It's kind of strange, but they just disappear into the water.
I will point out the obvious tracks of the four-clawed sloth that has. I'll point out these massive tracks and say, "Look, these are some still visible. You can see four. This thing is massive. 4 claws. You know, this thing's like it's the size of my face. And then over here, here are 2 footprints, two sets of tracks that kind of disappear into the river. Perhaps it was Arzenzarin's.
Perhaps they are traveling by boat.
Not likely. But who knows? They're far from home.
Or they turned into snakes and we killed them?
That would be too easy.
It's true.
But they could swim. I mean,
I assume yes. Theo is going to turn on the magic eyes, the good old ice blue eldritch sight, and just while after this is happening, just kind of scour the area to see if there's any latent magic or anything that appears to be ensorcelled around here that he might be able to recognize as some sort of magic and look into that.
Sure. You do not pick up any magic essence in this area. Tenoch, as you are talking and then scanning the area, you get a almost like not a verbal message in your head, but almost like a feeling, and you recognize this as coming from your hawk, and because it has gone out and it has surveyed this broad area, and it is now back within the range where it can speak with you telepathically, whatever. I think that's 100 feet maybe or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. But it comes back within that range, and you get this message: approach. Something approaches. And as you sort of look around to see what it is, you see this...
Ready?
You see this tall, blonde-haired, short-bearded man, light skin, walking up to the area that the 4 of you are investigating. And he walks
from
up
the
to
swamp?
you. Nope, he's walking up the path that you were on, not coming from the swamp, but basically like kind of tracing your steps from the inn to where you are now, kind of coming up behind you. And as he approaches, he says, "Hail, travelers! Name's Danverius Zancro. Heard you're looking for a bit of a guide." And he has, let's see. Everybody roll a history check for me.
Oh, history. Yeah. 8.
Please,
Man, you and the 8s. It's been 8s.
I rolled a 4.
All night.
I rolled a 4. I do.
Okay.
It's an intelligence roll. I do have a +4 to intelligence.
15.
Rhunar with the 15.
Rhunar,
My rolls are just garbage.
you're the
today.
only one that notices this, but his accent is a Sul accent. And he says, "The name's Danverius Zanko. Pleasure to meet you, fellas." And he gives you a big toothy smile. And we will go ahead and end tonight's session right there.
To be fair,
the
I wouldn't
first
know
thing
what a Sewell. I
I had
probably
come
wouldn't
out
know
of
what a
Theo's
Sewell
mouth
accent
is
sounds like anyway.
just
Probably
the
not.
fuck we're looking for.
Sewell or Silouise?
Exactly.
That's the
Whoa.
motherfucker we're looking for.
Looks like he found you.
Hey, that just makes it easier.
Guys,
Fucking convenient.
what should we do with his head?
Oh no. Well, we will adjudicate all of the fun shenanigans that we'll have on next week's episode of
Next
Beyond
week.
Saltmarsh. Bum bum bum. But before we leave tonight, I just want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody who has stuck around and checked out our show, our game, our fun, this crazy thing that we do here, this Dungeons and Dragons thing. We do have a drawing to take care of. We are giving away a digital copy of the CZ RPG publication called Barovian Born and Raised, which is a Curse of Strahd supplement that is really rad. Basically what it does is it gives you the tools that you need as a DM and a player to be able to play as native Barovians standing up against Strahd, the devil Strahd himself, to vanquish his power over the land of Barovia. It's really cool. CZRPG is our sponsor. They have been kind enough to support this stream like you have. We appreciate you, and we're glad that you're here. If you want to enter, we've got a minute left or so, a little bit. Just type the word curse into the chat, and that will enter you to win. So please do that now. We've got just a little bit of time left. We encourage
exclamation
everyone.
point curse or just
It's just curse. Just type in curse. Just type it into the chat. Everybody go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go ahead and draw this in just a couple of seconds here. But we really appreciate you guys stopping by. This has been super fun for us to have people hanging out with us while we play. And I love having the chat going. It's super fun to watch, and it's great to see our friends stop in and say hi. So thank you very much.
Hell yeah, Lord Kazumba.
Lord Gazumba's here, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it. And all right, Rhunar, let's get a 5-second countdown, please.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Go.
Who is gonna win?
Pete Lutenberger. Pete
Lutenberger.
Lutenberger has won the giveaway.
Lutenberger.
Congratulations, Pete. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here.
It's about time. He's been here every session.
Pete has been with us pretty much every session, as you said, and we appreciate you guys. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. We do have a game tomorrow night. Chad runs a Svealand game called Midwinter Keening that runs every Thursday night from 7 to 10 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
And that's super fun. I get to play in it, which is great.
I'm excited.
Michael's in that game. Andy's in that game. A couple other folks that aren't on tonight's stream are in that game, and we've been having a blast with it. It's super fun. So
yeah,
we do encourage you to stop by and check that out. In the meantime, be good to each other, and we will see you tomorrow night. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Take care.